Hey everyone, check out my 60-gallon breeder beta tank with Harlequin Resporas while I tell you about a dream that I had a while ago that really means a lot to me. You see, in this dream, it starts out, I'm really scared. I'd been contacted by a woman over the phone who let me know that there was a demon that was going to be coming after me, and I was to be prepared to fight it. And I didn't know what that meant. I was like, what? And not too long after that, she showed up to my house. Like, she'd called me on the phone, and then she showed up to my house, and I opened up the door, and it was a tall black woman with long black afro hair, and the way that she spoke, the tone of her voice, she was a mother. And she told me, I'm here to prepare you, and walked me down into the basement of my childhood home. And when she walked into the house, there was a line of women behind her, and it was like all the women that had ever really meant anything to me in my life. So it was like all my female friends, cousins, co-workers, women that like I cared about, and everybody except my mom. My mom stayed in her room, and the woman, she led me downstairs, and all of the other women, they like gathered around in a big circle. And I don't know where the hell she pulled it out of, but the like leader woman, the mother, she had a blue kiddie pool, like those plastic kiddie pools that you'd buy from Walmart. She had a blue kiddie pool in the middle of the basement, like den area, filled with water. And they were all standing around it, and she told me to get into the pool. And I was like, okay. And so I stepped into the pool with my bare feet. I remember I was wearing a dress, and I had no shoes on. And I remember feeling the cold water. It was really cold. And she told me, okay, take off your panties. I don't know, it sounds weird, but that's what she said. And I didn't even think twice. I was like, okay. And I took off my underwear. And she said, all right, now sit in the water. And I did. I didn't question it. I just sat down in the water. And all the women linked hands. They all started holding each other's hands and praying over me. And the woman was saying words that I didn't know. And then all of a sudden, from upstairs, I heard my mom's voice calling me, Amanda! Amanda! And my mom had this thing, like, if she called my name, I had to go to her and, like, see what she wanted. I couldn't holler back to her for her to tell me what she wanted. I had to go to her for her to tell me what she wanted. And she was calling down the stairs, and I could tell by the tone of her voice that if I didn't go to her, I was going to get it. And they were like begging me, like, don't get out of the water. And I was like, I'll be right back, okay? My mom, she always does this. I'll be right back. And so I went upstairs to see what my mom wanted, and she had like her own little ritual set up. She had her sage, and she had a chair set up, and she wanted me to sit in the chair, and she wanted to sage me and pray her own prayer over me. And I told her that these ladies had something very specific that they were trying to do, and that I needed to go back down there to them, and that I pretty much told her, like, you're wasting my time kind of thing. And my mom said, fine, you don't want what I have, then go. And so I went to go downstairs, but my daughter Meadow was at the top of the stairs, and I was trying to ask Meadow to go to my mom so that mommy could go back downstairs with the ladies real quick. And Meadow, she didn't want to let me go down the stairs. And then all of a sudden, here come all the women come walking up the stairs, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, ladies, I'm coming back down. Please don't go. And that's when the tall black woman said, I got a call from headquarters, and they let me know that the demon lied about his ranking, and you'll be able to handle him on your own. And then she turned away from me and went out the door. And like, my heart sunk. I was like, I can't handle this on my own. I don't know what the heck's going on. No demon thing. And I was like, what do I do? And she's like, it chose a form, and it's coming, and it's in the basement. And I was like, okay. And so I went to go walk downstairs, but like, again, my little girl Meadow, she wouldn't let me go down the stairs. She kept wanting me to pick her up. And so I picked her up, and she clung to me so tightly, her little fists grabbing hold of my shirt as tight as she could, and her little legs just wrapped around my middle, and she pressed her head against my chest and my heart area, just as hard as she could, and she just buried her little face into my chest and wouldn't let go. And I looked at my mom like, Mom, can you help me? Can you take the baby? I gotta go downstairs and deal with this. And my mom said, looks like you'll just have to take her with you. And I was like, fine, whatever. And so I start walking down the stairs, and I felt this cold draft. And then this figure came around the corner, and it was my freaking ex-husband. He had taken the form of my ex-husband, but it wasn't my ex-husband because he had black eyes, and he had this wicked grin, and he turned around the corner without like moving his neck, so like super creepily, like super rigid, turned the corner with a big wide smile and black eyes. And I looked at him and I said, not you. And I started backing up the stairs as fast as I could. And he got to the top of the stairs, and I'm backing into the kitchen area. And my ex-husband is quite a bit taller than me. He's about a head and a half taller than me. I'm a wee little person. I only stand about 5'1", and my ex-husband was 6'6", or is 6'6". He's still around, but my ex-husband is 6'6", and I'm little, and he's backing me into the kitchen, and I've got this little girl in my left arm, just clung to me as tight as possible. So I'm kind of turning my left side away from him and kind of pushing back with my right arm, and he just keeps like walking towards me, and it's just, I feel the evil coming off of him. And there's a big pile of dishes in the sink, and on the top of the pile is my butcher's knife. And I grabbed the handle of the butcher's knife and I pointed at him. And or a cook's knife, a cook's knife, the pointy one, not the square one. A cook's knife, and I pointed at him, and I said, and I didn't say anything. I just pointed the knife at him, like, back up. And he laughed, this horrible laugh, and he says, "Oh, swords it is." And then he draws this big sword out of nowhere. And I look at my hand, and the little cook's knife, the chef's knife in my hand turns into a little short sword, like an actual, like, little sword, like a short sword. And we start sword fighting there in the kitchen. And he's quite a bit taller than me. His sword's a lot bigger than mine, and I only have one hand because I'm trying to protect my baby girl on the other side, and she's clinging tight to my heart. And he's getting me. He gets blows. He gets me. He's cutting my arm up. He's cutting my body, and I'm bleeding. And I get him too. I get a few good swings on him, but every time I hit him, the wound closes quickly, and there's never any blood. He just laughs. And by this time, we're kind of in the dining room area, and I get a good swing on him, and I hit him in the neck area by his head. And the wound doesn't close up right away, and his whole face changes, his whole demeanor changes, and he gets pissed. And I was like, "Oh, okay, I found your weakness, and I have to take off your head," is what I knew. I had to get off his head. And so I'm dodging, I'm ducking and around, and I'm trying to, like, get another good swing on his head. And now I've got him backing up, and I'm backing him up down the hallway into my childhood bedroom. And I get one other good swing on him on the opposite side. And that's when his head lops off. And I remember seeing his head on the ground and his blood pouring out onto the carpet of my childhood bedroom floor. It was a pink carpet. And I remember the blood on the carpet. And I remember just crying and crying and crying. But I was shaking, but I did it. I killed him. And I was alive. And I looked down at Meadow, and she was still just clinging so tight to me. And I woke up, and when I woke up, I was crying. Like, there was tears in my eyes. I was shaking. I had to get up and go to Meadow's crib and look and see her there, to make sure she was okay. I could, like, feel her hands on my shirt still. But I won. I beat it. I killed the thing. And I really am grateful to Meadow for protecting my heart, because I don't know if I wouldn't have had her in my arms trying to protect her, I don't know if I would have been able to protect my own heart. I don't know if this makes any sense at all, but it makes sense to me. My Meadow, she's a little Cancerian baby, my little Cancer crab, and she's just the most sweetest heart I've ever known. And I'm really grateful to have had all those women. I'm really grateful to have had the power. And I'm grateful to get to tell this story because now it's not in my head anymore. I don't really know what it means, but I hope you liked it, and I hope you like my fish tanks. If you listen this long, then you're a freaking lunatic, and I love you. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. Bye.